Hi, my name is Blessed Matthew. I'm part of Kindle Youth Movement UK. Kindle is about raising a generation who seek, serve, and share Jesus. Today, I'm so thrilled to have, especially Dr. Paul Mathews is with me. So I'm so excited to spend some time. Really, he's a senior pastor at Rajasthan Pentecostal Church, national president of Philadelphia Fellowship of Churches, and also he held a PhD in clinical psychology. Wow. So I'm so excited, Acha. Thank you for joining with me today. How are you
Sure,
doing?
so happy to be connected with this. I'm a bit anxious and nervous as to what Blessing is going to ask, but let's find out, okay? Okay.
Is, how are you doing? How's things in Rajasthan? We know that 2020 was a very strange year with all the pandemic. I thought by last year, April or May, this pandemic will be over. We will be all back. But even in 2021, still things are not clear. How's things in your side, your part of the world?
Well, we are coming out just like the rest of the world. We are coming out of it. There was a scare of a second wave coming from your own UK, but we have come out of that fear also. So we have the vaccine. The healthcare frontline workers are getting their injections. The people have to wait. Buildings are opening up. Church buildings are opening up, and the church was never closed, but the buildings were. So just this month, so after almost 10 years of being closed down, the buildings have been opened. We have restrictions of people in a place, timing. So we are following all the government guidelines so that we ensure safety for the people and not just follow rules, but to be safe for the people that are coming in. So we are opening up with restrictions. God willing, the next few months, I think it's not few weeks, still a few more months to go into this. We'll be back to normal where we were. But that's what we are, Blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I like what you said. Churches never close. It's only the buildings were closed. That's amazing. That's powerful. So tell us a bit about your family, a bit about yourself. So we probably like to hear that. Your family, yeah.
I'm young, less than 100. I'm married to one wife, and we have four lovely daughters. And why four? Why daughters? We prayed for a large family, and the Lord gave us, and we never mentioned whether we wanted daughters or sons, and the Lord chose to give us daughters, and we are so excited to have them. And we are really, really blessed with what the Lord has given to us. So that's my family. Christy is my wife. For the daughters, they are S1, S2, S3, S4. Shifa, Sarah, Susanna, Shekinah. And we all love the Lord, and that's where we are, and based out of Udaipur in Rajasthan. If you ever Google Lake City in India, and you'll find us. That's where we are.
Wow.
Yes, so that's my family. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. I heard you grew up in a missionary family. So tell us a bit more about your parents and the greatest lesson you have learned from your parents.
Growing up in a missionary family, you have to choose which story do you want to hear. The bright side, the dark side, the gray side.
What stories you like to carry on into the
Sure.
future? Yeah.
No, I was just kidding. Growing up in a pastor's family, missionary family was as exciting as can be. There were no guarantee that you would sleep on your own bed every single night. You would have the couch, the privilege of the couch, because you'll have visitors coming in unannounced saying, hello, praise the Lord. And then you know, oh, my bed is gone today too. And so there was joy on the table. We were never concerned or burdened or never felt heavy. We just took it in the flow as kids that we had guests on the table, in the house, sharing space, life, meals, everything. So there was great joy in the house in that aspect. But there was pressure also because you were the pastor's son. There were certain expectations which were not in the home, but it was hype. You can use the word now, hype, created by the members. The pastor's son. Yeah. Yo. The moment you hear that, you get very excited in the wrong kind of a way. So there was expectations like that. You cannot do this, you cannot go there, you cannot wear this, you cannot buy that. And there were always dialogues in the home. What will the church people think? What will they think? I grew up with that. I was never happy with that, but kind of adjusted to that life. And I realized the importance of that, but I also realized the flip side of that. So there was always a life in front of the curtain, but we were much more relaxed as a family, and there was joy, laughter with my father around. And he was very strict, very strict. He was known to be a great preacher. He made people laugh, and there was laughter, but when it came to home, he was very strict. So I knew I didn't want to cross his lines. I knew my boundaries. So so I was very happy. So that was growing up, and growing up in the home, there was never an expectation that I would come into ministry. My dad would always say this to me: "You don't have to be in the ministry because I am in the ministry." That was always wow. And then he would invariably add this statement. Let me repeat what he used to say. You don't have to be in ministry because I'm in ministry. But then he would say, and you don't have any other options. So it's like, oh.
That's a good one.
So he knew how and when to give me freedom, but he knew how to pull me back also.
Wow.
So that was good parenting on his part.
Wow.
I was not a good son at that time. But I knew that I wanted to serve God, but I was not sure how. I knew I'll be involved in ministry somehow, but I was never sure how. And I was very sure never on the pulpit, never on the platform. I wanted the backstage. I wanted the backstage. But God had his own plans. As I say, he didn't woo me. He kicked me into this, and I fell face flat. And when I woke up, I was like, ooh, the people are watching. And that's how I know. That's how I am in ministry. It's not because my father was in ministry, not because I tried to tweak my way into it, but because God pushed me. And I'm okay with it now. Not very excited, but very okay with it. Yes.
Yeah, thank God for that. Ajab, I want to ask you,
Sure.
if you want to start everything again, I guess maybe over 2 decades you've been in ministry, in different ways, maybe as a pastor, maybe worship leader, in different ways. If you're going to start all over again, this is what you're going to do in the next 2 decades. If you know all that, maybe 20 years ago or something, what lessons or what lesson you would give to your younger self?
Oh, that's a big question. That's a big question. I think I would work on myself before I do anything.
Mm.
Because I've realized in 2 decades, in 20 years, the hardest is to change myself. The easiest is to change anybody else.
Wow.
And so if I can do it when I'm young, when I've not done mistakes, when my mistakes are not that costly, when not many people watching, if I fall, I think I want to work on my character, work on my disciplines, work on my attitude, everything before I do anything. So I would do that. I would put myself up to that kind of pressure before I begin to do what I'm doing today. God has been kind to me. I'm not saying I've not learned my lessons, but this is what I call, it's called OJT, if you know that term, on the job training. So I got my OJTs, which was not so good, but you would rather be well trained before you run the race. So if you give me the option, I'd work on myself first before I work for God.
So what are the keys you think to stay healthy in ministry for a long haul? To do 20 years. I'm sure we have many ups and downs. Many coronavirus has affected everybody. It's like a hit on everybody's life. But in ministry, I'm sure every few years sometimes we have to go through different pressures, either church problem, maybe the outside problem, maybe different kind, and also our family is changing as well. So what really keeping us going healthy for a long haul in ministry?
I have to confess, I had a discussion about this with my wife, this question. Let me tell you, be very candid. The best answer I can give to this question is be real. Don't fake it. Be genuine in ministry. There are days when you're not on top of the world, There are days when you're not top of the mountain. There are days when you don't have it. Just be genuine. And if you are genuine, God will give you the space. People will give you the space. Circumstances will give you the space to take the time to be in the long run. If you want to be that super spiritual, always hyper excited, on the go, anointed, prophecy on the tip of tongue, and healings and anointings and fire rumbling everywhere, anywhere, I think somewhere you're faking it. Somewhere you're faking it. So I think if you want to be in the ministry for the long run, be real, go slow, take it one day at a time, have great vision, great plans, great strategies, but just be real. Real with the church, real with your people, real with your family, real with yourself, and real with God, saying, God, I messed it up. God, I can't do this. God, this is too much. God, this is... So just being real will help you. And definitely learning is part of that. Growing up is part of that. Learning from others is also part of that. Reading books, all of that is there. But just being real, saying, I cannot wake up every morning thinking that I am the man God has chosen to save the world.
That is so wise. There's so much wisdom in it. Just be real. That is very true. And I truly believe people will give us the space as well to grow. That is so powerful. Thank you. Ajay, I wonder, what is your definition of success? What do you consider, or or what do you like to be famous for? What is your definition of success?
Blessed, I have struggled with this term success completely from day one. Day one. I'm really not sure what success is. Is it numbers? Is it popularity? Is it followers? Is it books? I think for me, success would be that at the end of the day, I've done what God asked me to do. And that might be not according to what the world expected of me, or what supporters or those who loved me thought about. But I think success should be, and for me definitely it is, having... This is one of the prayers I'm really praying in my heart these days. Lord, help me to finish the assignment. John 4:34. My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to complete it. My food is to do the will, not just the will, but to complete it also. So I think that is success, that God gave you the task, big or small, cleaning, setting up the stage, and or lights for the church, or just preparing chord sheets for the evening worship, and you did that, man, you're successful. Sister, you're successful if you've done that, because God gave you the opportunity and you did that well. So not numbers, blessing. We are seeing so much of that right now. Numbers are ruining people. That's a very worldly concept of success. Doesn't mean I'm not trying to escape saying I can be in a cave and be successful. No, but we have to be real. At the same time, we have to understand it is actually doing what God has called us to do to be successful. Does it make sense?
Yes, absolutely. The success is whatever God called us to do, and do that.
To do it, accomplish it.
Yeah.
Not just to start it, but accomplish it. Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Thank you. I'm in ministry for some time, and I always wonder, when we are in ministry, it's very easy to read Bible, pray, and meditate it. You'll get into that zone, and everything will be easy. But actually,
is it easy?
But actually, that is not. Actually, it's not. It's the struggle is there. The difficulty is there. We have to discipline ourselves to create some space, book it. There's a lot of things. So I wonder, how do you spend time with God? What is your method? We all have our own methods. I wonder, it's more of a personal question. What is your method of spending time with God?
Wow, another very heavy question. See, as pastors, especially in a country like ours, where you can call anytime, any day, any moment, walk in, phones, and I called you, you did not respond. The phone rang twice, and Pastor, you did not pick up my call. Is something wrong with you? What are you doing? Are you losing your spirituality, Pastor? So in that kind of a world, I have to be creative, honestly speaking. I have to be creative in terms of my quiet time, in terms of listening to the Lord, in terms of worship, in terms of just doing my daily devotions. And uh, one of the things COVID has helped us, and with Zoom, we have now started 5:45, for example, prayer time for the church, not for it's for all, but those who can join. So about 60, 70 people join. 5:45 to 6, we speak in tongues, 15 minutes. Then 6 to 7 people pray. And so that's now my kind of routine from 7 so till 7. We are in prayer. And then from 7 to 7:30, just checking up mails, doing this and that, getting ready for the day. And then sometimes when I have reading assignments or writing assignments to do, I will take that morning time to do that. And this is when I spend time with the Lord and listen to Him. And how do I say that? Just yearn to be listening to what He has to say. And then there are weeks, and during the daytime also, I will take out special time. I'll drive out. I will take the car, and because if there is a lot of things happening on campus, I'll take the car out and listen to a message, listen to a fresh word from the Lord, and just pray. So this is how I have to be creative. I don't have a very strict itinerary saying this is it, this is where I read the Bible, this is where I sing a song. No, I wish I was there, and that's part of my personality. That's my strength, and that's my weakness also. So this is where I have to be creative, knowing that I have to keep myself revived, refreshed, and I'm not just a sermon machine. Press a button and sermon comes out. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Ajay, can you explain how do you hear God's voice? Is there a pattern to it, or how do you normally listen to God?
Blessing, that's a very beautiful question. Every child of God has the privilege of listening to his master, listening to the Lord Himself speak to his heart. And Jesus Himself said, "My sheep hear my voice." Not just that, God speaks to His people in very, very, very varied fashions, very different ways. It's not one method. So for me, it is the impressions of the heart, okay? And I would encourage you and tell you that it takes experience. You have to differentiate. There are competing voices in your head, competing voices in your heart, and you have to learn to differentiate between what is from God and what is not from God. So through Bible, through experience, through people who have talked to you, older people, wiser people, they always help you, and then this voice cannot be from God, or this has to be God talking to me in this direction. So along the way, God helps you to learn and to helps you to differentiate between what is from Him and what is not. And the more you pay attention, the more you obey, the more you are leaning into it, the more you learn, and the voice gets clearer. And it's not a paranormal experience or anything. It could be any given day, any given experience. Over and over again, I've realized this one thing, that God's people have to understand and have to learn to differentiate between what God wants to do through them. And so that comes through experience only. That comes through experience. So He speaks through images. He speaks definitely through the scriptures. There is definitely a great percentage of our knowing the voice of God has to come from the scriptures. That's what I would want to say to you, Blessed.
Wow, thank you, amazing. So from the very young age, as youths, we all have a thing, a thought in our mind: who is the person we're going to marry? Who will be that person? That thought will be there from the beginning. Even if no matter how much, whatever we preach, like kingdom of heaven and hell, it all down to that person, the person we're going to marry. So I wonder, how can we know the will of God in marriage?
You don't want to know the answer, Blessed. How can we know the will of God in marriage? Well, I think the biggest thing is peace in your heart. Peace in your heart. You definitely need the help of your parents to make that lifelong decision, because they are wiser than you. You can be smart, but they are wiser. So definitely they can help you. Families, upbringings definitely play a part in that. And I don't know. I think the biggest thing would be just peace in your heart about the other person. And you have prayed, you have consulted, you have done a background check, people have helped you, you have checked the history. And once you have done that, there is a peace in your heart about that person that yes, I can spend my rest of my life on earth here with that person. And that peace comes into your heart, definitely you can move ahead with that. But there's no single answer saying when you meet the right person, light will be glowing on his face or on her face. Nothing like that. You have to walk through it. You have
The
to walk
angels
through
will
it.
sing.
They never sing. They never sing.
So
So you have to walk. So the little longer you take, it's better.
Mhm.
And so you walk slow into that. Don't just feel, oh, that's the man, that's the woman. No, just take time. No, because they might be good on stage, but they may not be as good off stage.
Mm.
Just to use one example. That's it.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I like what you mentioned. You know, you might be smarter than your parents, but parents are wiser. So that's very powerful. That's very true. That's very true. Thank you. So I don't know how many years you've been married. So maybe a 2 decades or something. But tell us one thing that really contributed to the success of your marriage, or a family tradition, you know, or a family ritual you keep as a family. Anything from personal experience.
You have asked 22 questions in 1 minute. Break that down.
Just one thing that contributed to the success of your marriage.
You want the funny version or the serious version?
Can I have the both, please?
The funny version is just listen to your wife. That's it. The serious version is make her listen to you too. No, just kidding. I think the long term is it's a lot of work, a lot of commitment, and as they say, you are in it for the long haul. That commitment helps you carry through the madness of every single day, or the happiness, or the joys, or the tears. So commitment, sacrifice, acceptance, pure, genuine love, in spite of foolishness on part of any of us, that helps in marriage. So we've been married only 21 years. So I think we have survived because of that. We have survived these days because of that. It's not that every day was bright or no. God helped us. We were committed to work out our differences and to walk into God's love every time we needed it. And so that's been our strength. So that's the first question. What was the second question you asked?
Any family rituals you have? Any family traditions you hold?
Very good. I think with 4 kids in the home, I have a joke with and I borrowed it from my father. He used to say in every wedding, I had 10 rules before I had any children. And then he used to say, and then I had 10 children and no rules. So, but family traditions, yes, we love to spend time together as a family. We go out for rides, drives, Sunday evenings. We try to not assign anything to anybody except business meetings every once in a while, but we take time out as family to drive. We just love driving. And so in the car, we may not even get out of the car, but just singing, laughing, listening to one another, just being quiet, but just driving. So that's a family tradition for us. We love it. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. As a young person, how can we prepare ourselves for marriage?
Stop looking around, number one. Number two, start praying. And I mean, seriously pray. Say, Lord, she's out there. He's out there. I don't know where. But I'm praying, Lord, that you would unite us, connect us at the right time. So pray seriously. Trust God to make those connections and moves. And just obey. So go slow. Don't rush. Some of the things I would suggest as you prepare.
Wow. So, in this COVID season, I felt like there is a significant growth in every church in media. You know, all the pastors, you know, they started talking to camera. Before that, it was difficult to preach in front of the camera. Now everybody has to do it. If you are in a ministry, you have to do it. But when I look at your church, I felt like you've been doing live streaming and things like that even before all this coronavirus and pandemic. Even from India, in Udaipur, I know the church has planted long years, but there are so many churches around the world, even longer, long history than you, but not moving ahead, not innovating or changing. I understand that the media is here to stay. What advice you would give, or what do you think this media will have an impact on ministry in the coming days? Is there anything for our leaders or pastors you would think in terms of media and ministry?
I think we were already doing live streaming and all of that stuff, but I have to confess we were slow. We could have grown much more. I was not aggressive in that aspect, and I don't regret it. But on hindsight, I should have been more aggressive. But the moment this hit, we had to step up everything. Like any church, we stepped up. And yes, we were online, but I've been always been media shy, if I can use that word. I don't want to be seen doing this, doing that. I always have sorry to use it, a fear. What would people think? Am I trying to be show off, or am I trying to be on your face? Hey, hello, hi. I don't want to be that person. So I have a struggle with that. But with COVID, that had to be broken, because you had to be facing the camera. You had to get better equipment. And as I've been saying to people, Zoom is here to stay. Social media is here to stay. You have to reinvent yourself completely, technology-wise, and not just technology-wise, harness it. I think not in numbers, but in terms of quality in the COVID, because of technology, our people have grown. People have received more opportunity to participate. Earlier, they were just participants. They were just warming the pews, if I can use the word. But with technology, they were responding, they were connecting, they were bringing the families, and so there was so much more. So social media is here to stay. We have to be wise. We can be media shy, camera shy, but I think we have to rise up, but we don't have to overdo it also. So that's a healthy balance, I would say. It's not like every few minutes a post should come from the pastor saying, hi, how are you doing? Can I take care of you? When he's not taking care of himself, right? So there has to be a healthy balance between all of that. Communication, definitely, a lot of communication needs to be going out. But balance, truth, and again, as I said earlier, don't fake it. Don't fake it. Mm-hmm. Just be genuine, just be real. Mm-hmm. And don't be lazy also. Oh, I cannot do it. Get youngsters to do it, oh, we don't have the technology. Get the technology. It is all there, and use it. And so I would say churches, ministries, just harness, just use it, so that God's kingdom can expand, people can be strengthened, edified, and definitely for evangelism also. So this is here to stay. Let's rise up, embrace the change, and move on.
Fantastic. I like what you said. Reinvent yourself. Zoom and the media is here to stay. Reinvent yourself if you want to stay. So yeah. That's great. Fantastic. Winding up, I just want to ask some couple of leadership questions. When you look at a person or develop somebody as a leader, what are the qualities you will look in a leader?
Blessing, I think that question I've struggled with for many years, and that has kind of shifted. I've always believed, now this is a very, very honest confession here, I've always believed heart is crucial. All right, so I always went for the heart. But lately, I've also realized that with heart, you need the skill also. You can have a great heart, but if you're not contributing, you're taking up space. So I think there is a healthy balance where we have to work. And I got a scripture from the Psalms last year. I was reading. It says about David, he was skilled in his hand and he was clean in his heart. So I think we need both of that. So skill and heart. Skill, and so don't give me just heart. I've had so many people around me with good heart, good intentions, and I've been working for them. And so I've come to a stage where I say, let's get the heart right, but let's get the skills also right. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we're doing charity, not getting things done. Leadership is getting things done, moving things forward. And so we need an army to get things done. It's just not one-man show. So a good heart, definitely, but great skill set also, and definitely the right attitude for the people. You have to be people friendly. If you want to be in the ministry, you can love numbers, you can love computers, you can love technology, but you have to love people. Otherwise, you will die out. You will die out. You have to love people, or you will burn out if they use the word there. You can burn out. So love people. They'll keep you motivated. They'll keep you mad, and they'll keep you everything else. So love people. Have a good heart. Get skills. Acquire them, and do your best for the glory of God.
Wow, wow, that's powerful. That's a crash course in leadership. That's fantastic, fantastic. A final question: what is a legacy you would like to leave behind?
Blessed, years ago, before even came into ministry, I wrote in a document for myself. It used to be Spiral Diaries at that time. I still have Spiral Diaries, but 20 years ago, I wrote this, and I'm grateful that you're reminding me of what would be my legacy. I wrote in my diary, I want to be known as a person who has helped other people fulfill their dreams. So in short, I want to be known as a person who has served well, served people well, served God well. That's what I want to be. So if any legacy, more than institutions, yes, they should be there. Ministries, sermons, songs, music, lights, camera, but it should be said about me that he served people well and he served God well. So that should be my legacy.
Wow, amazing, amazing. We come to our talk. Just ask some few rapid fire questions. That means I will just ask questions, just one word answers, just one word answers. And if you're discomfortable with anything, just say pass. I'm happy to move. But just one word questions. All right. Favorite Christian artist?
DC Talk.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Dal roti.
If you are not in Rajasthan, where you like to go or do ministry?
Wherever God sends me, I'm happy everywhere.
Greatest fear in life?
Offending God.
One advice on parenting?
Love your kids.
One advice on marriage?
Love your spouse.
One advice on money?
Don't love money, but make more of it so that you can give it away. Don't be shy, but yes, so that you can give it away.
What is the most annoying habit that other people have?
There's too many, I can't list it out here.
What hobby you would get into if time and money is not an issue?
Soccer, playing soccer.
What is the one tradition?
Watching soccer and playing soccer.
Playing soccer. What is the one tradition you have in your family?
Sunday evenings with the kids on a drive.
If you could ask Jesus to change one problem in the world today, which problem would you pick?
Remove sin.
Fantastic. Answered well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's all the questions for today. Thank you. I just want to thank you for this opportunity.
So did I pass? Blessed, did I pass or did I fail?
Yes, he answered very well. It's some gems of wisdom. It's amazing. It's good to. I'll just go back and look at the video again and extract some wisdom out of it. So thank you so much for.
Thank you, Blessed. There was a wonderful opportunity to be asked these questions, but for me also to think about it. Some of the answers were off the shelf, but it will make me more. It will make me go and think about these things more. Thank you for the opportunity. Wonderful. God bless Kindle. God bless all the ministries you guys are doing there. Much love.
Thank you. Thank you.